Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Still about 30 minutes till noon here in Austin, Texas. My name is Matt Leshper with 1836 Property Management, as always, on South Congress in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas. I work with and own 1836 Property Management. We've been in the property management business for going on 18 years. It seems like only 40, but just been doing it about 18 years. Today, we are hosting a Crowdcast webinar titled How to Prepare a Property for Rent Without Lifting a Finger. And we can come back to some stats on that when we get to that point. But we are here with Cason Reeder with Consider Done. He is one of our licensed, experienced, knowledgeable vendor partners that serve the greater Austin area. There's so many facets to that. Do they have licenses that they need, or are they going to disappear and then shut down their business and change the name if they don't like the service? Are they experienced? Have they done this before? Do they have any idea what they're doing? There's a guy, you can call a guy. Does he know what he's doing? I don't know, but he's a guy. That's not going to cut it. We've got to actually have professionals that do what we do. And they've got to serve the entire Austin area. We can't call a different guy for every 4 blocks of service because we're across several counties here. So Consider Done specializes in make ready to sell, make ready to lease, painting, handyman projects, and much more. Pretty much they're your go-to guy to get started. So if you've got questions about something, give them a call, talk to them. They're local humans. Oh my goodness, we actually live in a community where we know people and we can have conversations. We don't have to be fearful of each other. They're nice guys. So you guys can call them as rental property owners, as owners that need to sell your property, whatever it may be, and just have a conversation. Say, here's where I am, here's where I'd like to be. What does that look like? Can you make suggestions? Cason, that was a big introduction. Do a quick introduction of yourself, if you will. Let us know about Consider It Done. What do we need to know?
So I've been the owner of Consider It Done for coming on 4 years now. We started off pretty small. We've worked with some great people in the past. We've learned a lot. It's been a wonderful experience. I have done things in this vein of work prior to starting this. I did a little bit of work in Houston with my stepdad. It's something, I enjoy working with my hands. I know my guys enjoy working with their hands. And, I've had the opportunity to deepen my understanding of property management and what's expected of a home before getting it ready for rent, sell, purchase, whatever it might be. And it is something that I've grown to be quite confident in.
Awesome. It's nice that you can cover those different facets because I think our viewers can all relate to, I want to get this home ready for lease, or I want to get this home ready for sell. And while we want our lease properties to look nice, those are two different things because they have different objectives and it should be tailored to each. You guys are really great at sharing photos and collaborating, but I'm sure we'll get into that today. So a short explanation of the video topic and what we're going to be covering today is really a few different things. Number one is the essential pre-rental walkthrough and maintenance. So what do we need to be looking for when we are not yet in an occupied property before it hits the market? We need to do the walkthrough. We need to do normal maintenance. We need to do maintenance because things break and people break them. And how do we document that and collaborate on it? Number two is the deep cleaning, decluttering for market readiness. I don't know that I've ever seen, but maybe 5% of properties that a tenant moves out and you're like, this is totally nice. I mean, it's no fault to anyone, right? Tenants aren't bad people. There are kind of staples of our community a lot of times, whether it's teachers, police officers, firefighters. Those are the people that we want to rent to every day, all in all. But when you've got kids, when you've got a family, when you've got a couple days to move, you're not going to leave it perfect. And that's totally okay. But we've got to declutter or get it ready for the market. So that's the second topic. The third one is turnkey setup and logistics for a seamless tenant move-in. We have a lot of agents that we collaborate with and love, but we wish we could do all the leasing. The reason is these agents go out to the real estate investor and say, I'll lease your property for free. I don't want to do that favor for you. They find a tenant, they don't really screen them well, they get them in there and they sign the lease. And when they say, hey guys, just handle the move-in. What do you mean handle the move-in? Like that is part of the leasing process. That's what you're getting paid to do. And you've got to have that tenant dialed in for a seamless move-in. So on day one, they don't hate you already. the house has to be ready. Who's meeting them there? What is the condition? Has it been documented? Are there any odds and ends to this property? Because every one of them has those. And so we need to know what those are and be able to communicate those effectively. Agents really need to either step up or step out of that game and stick to sales. Or, hey, maybe they're a great agent and they want to work with us, and then they can talk about a different line of work. But either way, do one thing and do it really well, and stay out of the others. So let's jump into our first topic: essential pre-rental walkthroughs and maintenance. Cason, tell me about what we need to know for pre-rental walkthroughs and maintenance that could be on pre-existing items or to prevent future items.
So a pre-rental walkthrough is imperative. It will show you the state of the property right after the tenant moves out, whether it's drywall damage, leaks, stains, garbage disposal not working. There's so many things that we as people need to prepare for the next family, whoever it might be that's moving in. You want to have a well-presenting, nice property, and these walkthroughs give us the opportunity to point out each of these individual problems and create a comprehensive list for us to give to the property managers. That way everyone's kind of aware of what the state of things are and how things are going. These walkthroughs also give us the time to make a detailed list. Sometimes if someone who isn't aware of failure items in a home is going to do a walkthrough, they're going to miss, the little small things. A light flickering may be a bulb, or it might be, a light switch. There's a lot of things that come into play, and having the knowledge of what does what helps us give a solid and, cohesive property report. And, being that we've done this for some time now, we have worked with y'all since the beginning, and we have a pretty solid idea of expectations. Depending on the property, we know what is expected of the properties prior to being rented. And so with these walkthroughs, it gives us A, an idea of where we're starting, B, where we need to be, and, how we plan on getting there.
So one of the things I love about this is that you'll have owners that'll call in and go, hey guys, I just need you to get it rented. It's already ready for the market. And then we go out to evaluate the property and we're like,
yeah,
are we at the wrong property? Like, did we just walk into the wrong house? Because our concept of that is two completely different things. And we always say the property and the condition it's in resembles the tenant and the condition they're in. And if they're not in good condition, neither is your rent. And so we've got to evaluate these properties well. We've got to share imagery, video chat through it, so we can actually talk apples to apples and be on the same planet when we're planning on getting this property ready for market. So your guys' ability to walk through and look for the oddities. I'm gonna point, there's nothing here, but just for sake of illustration, there's a water stain. Okay. Is that water stain because the roof is leaking? Is that water stain because the tenants overflowed the bathtub and it was a one-time issue? It hasn't rained in a month. Is it still wet? Is it a supply line? I don't know, because no one reported it before because the house was ready. These are all the things that you need an expert to walk through, not because you need them to rebuild the house or you need a full inspection, but you just need somebody who can put eyes on this situation and say, hey, I did a thorough look. It looks clean. We're not opening walls to see what's behind it to create another problem, but I have done this. I know what to look for. And as of today, it looks good. But here's 4 other things that maybe you weren't aware of that we need to address because they're going to cost you either a little bit today or 10 times as much tomorrow. Would you like those? And here's imagery. Well, I'd like to store that image and then monitor it. Now you've got resources, you've got information, you've got data, and these walkthroughs provide all that for you guys. Working with us has also been great because something we've employed this year that we've always wanted to do, and it's kind of the above the highest level of services, the collaboration. We've always talked. We've always said, hey, go improve this, go improve that. This is the first year we have a dedicated person who has staff labor hours that doesn't cost the owners anything else, that sits down with both companies and doesn't say, CID, here's what we need. They say, CID, what can we do better too? Where are we failing to provide information? Or what are you seeing that doesn't work with what we're asking so we can adapt to the environment? And that relationship between a handyman company, a maintenance company, service providers, and the property management company is massive because it saves the owners time and labor, and which all turns into money. So really appreciate you sharing all that with us. The second part of this topic is the deep cleaning and decluttering for market readiness. Tell me about some properties you've been to and oh no, it's ready for rent. And then you go over there and you're like, I'm gonna need a bigger boat, if you will, to clean this house out. What do you think about this topic?
Cleanliness is, no one's going to want to move into a home that isn't clean and well prepared and, ready for them to move in. And kind of circling back to the clean home, not necessarily clean, but like a well put together and well presenting home is going to remain more well presenting longer. People want to take care of things that are clean, upkept, things of that nature. And aside from damage to the property itself, cleanliness is huge. If you walk into a home that smells weird, you're going to have a reaction to it. You're going to have less care for the property itself, and you don't want your tenants to exacerbate any issues. This has been kind of a new evolution of the company, but we are starting to offer, in-house cleaning services. And that's not to say that my team previously didn't clean, but we would clean our work areas. We would clean, a construction clean, right? Where we go in, we do whatever it is, and we pick up our area. But now we are offering more of a rental ready clean, something keeping it all internal, less communication with multiple vendors, things of that nature. It's going to help serve our clients better. And I mean, if the home doesn't look or smell right, it's probably not going to look or smell right after the tenant, and that's just what we want to avoid.
Two facets to this you brought up that I love. One is that you're out looking at properties. Maybe you look at 3 to 5 units and you walk into some homes, and what you're really looking for is, does it fit my family? You should have already screened it for financial so you can afford it. And if I love my family, which people do I feel good putting my family here? And you walk in and it smells poorly, you're out. You can't bring your spouse or your children into a home and go, guys, we're going to live here. Are you excited? And they're like, this smells bad. Mm-hmm. Or walk them in the door and it's dirty. You're already sunk, right? And then from the owners, so that's time on market because no one wants to rent that home. Mm-hmm. And the owner's going, why isn't it raining? Why isn't it renting? I don't know, put stink on paper. How do you translate it? Just stinks. No one wants to say that, but the truth is that's one of those facets, right? It's easy to send a picture and go, there's a home. Well, it's harder to go, well, your home stinks. But sometimes that happens, and you need people who are honest with you. The other side of that coin is that if a tenant moves into a home and they feel like, I'm in a hurry, I have to take it. Maybe it's not perfect, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it later. How likely are they to report when things go wrong? Well, if the owner doesn't care about the home, they're not going to care if I report this, and I'm just going to let it go. Where if I walk into a home that is really well maintained, it's clean, the paint is clean, the flooring's clean, the landscaping looks good from the curb, there's nothing broken, everything's functional. When something breaks, because it is a home, right? They wear out. I'm going to report that because I don't want them to think I didn't, right? So I feel like now I have an obligation because it was delivered in that manner. And people carry on with those feelings or emotions from day one. And so we really need to do these walks well. We need to do these cleans well. We need to make sure everything's fully functional so that these tenants take care of the home, so that there's less days on market, so the owner makes more money, and so that property is worth a greater value in the future. It's easy to say, well, I don't want to spend money on maintenance. Okay, well then what happens? Well, you go to sell, nobody wants to buy it. An investor will buy it. They'll give you pennies on the dollar, and then they still have to fix everything. So they're going to charge you to that. So there's no win to pushing some of these things off if they need to be dealt with today. The last thing is kind of one of the biggest things for us is that a turnkey setup and logistics for tenant move-in. Tenant move-in is a big deal. And people act like, well, they just signed the lease, give them the key. That's just give them the key. It's all fine. it's not a lot of fun. Making sure that this property is ready with a quality assurance check is paramount, because it's nearly impossible to get a property perfect, but you're going to keep walking it until you get things right. So tell us a little bit about how you guys set up the logistics for a seamless tenant.
So more often than not, each of our individual techs are qualified well enough to give a solid QA. They have done this long enough. They've worked specifically with y'all on multiple of y'all's properties long enough that they are capable of rocking out a QA to your standards. And if something does require a separate visit, it is more often than not me or Tyler who will come and give kind of our final, approval, whatever that may look like. But, when you are in a house looking at the same four walls, essentially, things you lose track of things, and you can look at that one scuff and tell yourself in the head, oh, I'm going to address that 15 times. But then when it comes to getting to it, you've gone blind to it. You lose track of it. And so having external QAs, someone who has previously not been at the site, is actually greatly beneficial. It gives a fresh set of eyes, and that is something that on our extremely larger projects we almost always do. It's a mandatory thing. So that could mean, like I said, the scuff, or a dog had previously tore at some weather stripping on a door, and you've just grown so used to seeing it that you lose track of that, task. And in doing these QAs, our goal is to kind of reduce the process of to reduce the back and forth and make the process a little easier for everyone involved. A, my techs, and B, your team with the PMs and all of that. With these turnovers being as streamlined as possible, we are able to help property managers and owners get their homes more prepared, more quickly, and get them on the market and hopefully rent it ASAP. And if a tenant walks in and sees a burnt out bulb, things like that, we make time almost immediately, as fast as we can, to go and rectify that. Because at the end of the day, mistakes are made. If a bulb is missing, we want to make it right. We want to make our business relationship with y'all work as good as possible, and we try to rectify our mistakes in a timely manner for both the tenant's sake and y'all's sake. We want to mitigate return visits as much as possible, and that's why we do secondary QAs on these larger properties. But at the end of the day, if we do miss it, we want to return, and we want to make things right.
I want to make a big difference too between a sale and a lease property. Often when a property is income producing, we're going to do what we can to paint a single wall corner to corner instead of painting the entire room if it's unnecessary. On a make ready for sale, you may paint the entire room to be done, because that's just a way of doing it. You may want to update the paint colors as well. There's so many facets to the house that you are very, very generous to say the light bulb goes out and maybe you guys miss it. I would also go back to say light bulbs go out, period. And you could replace that thing yesterday. I can tell you those LED lights that we're supposed to love are supposed to last 10 years. I haven't seen one that lasts 10 years.
Yep.
And, so it's not necessarily your fault. Light bulbs go out. And that home, whether it's for sale or lease, there's almost no way that it's going to be perfect. I mean, for investment properties, I've purchased a few newer homes, put them on the market. I do the walk with the guy. We have it inspected. And then when it goes to the market, we have our team or your team or whoever go out and look at it, and they're like, you guys missed these 10 things. And it's fascinating to me because I've physically been in the house and I look at these. But if you're not doing it every day, and then the number of hours this takes, I think the perception is that we're going to send you out. Maybe you wrap it in your bed, or maybe you charge, an hour to do it. These walks can take 3 hours or 4 hours. We have to touch everything in that property, because I'll tell you right now, if you had a tenant who left and the tenant didn't care for the property, if you don't turn on every sink in that property, you're not going to figure out which one the drain is clogged on, which means you have to run it and stand there. Which one is broken, but they didn't tell you. Which one is leaking, but nobody looked. So it's not just walk through and visually see it. It is physically testing every single light switch, every faucet, everything in every one of these properties. And it takes hours. So I'd like to get that misconception of everybody's head right now that I just look at it, walk through, shoot a couple photos and tell someone to make it ready. Just to make it ready. It's not magic and it doesn't happen that quick, and it takes a lot of labor to do that. And so with vendors like CIP, Consider Done, we're able to trust you guys for as much as you could possibly be trusted with to ensure that these properties really are up to standards. And I agree with you completely. Fresh set of eyes on just about anything makes a world of difference. And so having that in your arsenal, if you will, to be able to pull out and utilize for us is really appreciated. So, Cason, I think we've touched on the majority of everything we were going to talk about today. Is there anything we left out on your side you want to make sure we throw in?
Not particularly. We've worked with you for a while and we enjoy working with you, and we know, kind of like I said earlier, y'all's expectations and what y'all want, and it makes our relationship easy in almost every way. And, things like this are very helpful for us as well, and we appreciate, you letting us join you on this stream, and yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for anyone that's watching that is a property manager, we are, not that it matters, but we're one of the larger companies in Austin at this time that's still privately held, because everyone else just sold out over the years. And you're going to see that not turn out so well for the clients of those national companies, because they're operating in another city, managing a property here for a client who's still in yet another state. And we love those clients because they come over and they're very happy. But if you're a PM and you're local, especially if you're locally owned, call Consider It Done. Have them come out and do some work for you. It's not about them being tied to 1836 whatsoever. They're an independent company. They do what they want. They serve who they want. But through our relationship, we've been able to dial some things in that can be beneficial for everyone. And better their vendors do. The knowledge that they have, and they'll even gain from other property management companies, they get to bring back and serve us all better, which serves the clients better, or the real estate investors. If you are a real estate investor, whether you're looking to sell a house, whether you're looking to get your property ready for lease, and you just dislike management companies, and that's fine, that's your stance, and you're going to stick to it. Consider Done is still available for you. You can call them, you can find them online, you can talk to them. They'll deal with you direct, so you don't need to go through a property manager. If you are looking to sell a property and you're an owner occupant, you can call these guys. Hey, you're still in town. What a benefit to you. Have them come out and shake hands with you and just walk the property and make some suggestions for you. Now, I do have one request in that situation, and that is that you don't take their suggestions and then hire cousin Benny to do the work, because that's not fair. It's not right. But they're good guys. Consider Done will do the work well. And we really have enjoyed working with them as well over the years. They are one of our trusted go-to service providers. They service the greater Austin area. Again, together, we can always do better. And so, hey, even if you're another agent or PM or just a real estate investor and you don't want to deal with us, you can still call Consider Done. Everything they learn, they get to bring back for all of us to prosper better. So I'm really glad that we've been able to kind of collaborate with them over the years. You can find us independently. You can find us both together. Whatever you do, just find someone that is honest, that is locally owned if you can, that will take care of you and do the right thing here in Austin, Texas. I can't say enough about working with a locally owned company. I used to hear that and think, well, that's nice. And now I understand what national companies do when they gut companies they buy, and it's not pretty and the service isn't pretty. And so you're going to want to deal with somebody who's still invested in their company, still owns it locally, and still cares what the outcome is. So, Cason, I want to really thank you for your time to speak with me today. I'm sorry I took up a lot of time pontificating today, but I hope it was helpful for our viewers. Please reach out to Consider It Done if you just even want to have a chat with them. Their contact information is there. We really value and appreciate them. And what Consider It Done is an essential piece of what real estate investors require. Without companies like this and people that you can trust, you're kind of dead in the water as a real estate investor. So we really hope you reach out to them. Cason, any parting words for you today?
Well, like I said earlier, we appreciate it. We thoroughly enjoy working with y'all. And yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, we've got a wonderful team, both physically in person and our office team. Absolutely reach out to us. We can help in more ways than one.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. If you're watching today or in the future, we thank you for tuning in. Let us know what we can do to help you make real estate investing more successful in Austin, Texas, and we'll see you on the next Crowdcast in a month. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, y'all.